Stop waiting for permission. Why your pain is already a blueprint for power. Welcome to Soft Girl Era, the sacred space where strong Black women unlearn survival, rediscover softness, and reclaim the joy, rest, and freedom they deserve without guilt, without apology, and without explanation. I'm your host, LeAnne Dolce, pronounced Dolce, like sweet softness whispered in French. And I'm your guide from burnout to boundaries, from doing to being, from strong to soft and loving every second of it. Today, I want to share something with you that came from a conversation I had recently with someone who is making the world a better place, one village at a time. Her name is Dennisha Ware, and she is a force. At just 20 years old, this woman founded a community organization called Denisha's Village to be an advocate for teenage mothers. She was featured in magazines, spoke at community prayer breakfasts, and later graduated from two colleges. Then she relocated with three children from Michigan to Georgia, where she founded another community organization called Heritage of the Village. Today, she is seeking county partnerships throughout Georgia to create villages in every community. Denisha's work is not just inspiring, it is revolutionary, and her insights have shaped what I want to share with you today. She is proof that you don't need to wait for the world to validate you before you start building the world you need. So let me ask you something. When you hear the phrase, it takes a village, what comes to mind? Maybe you think of grandmothers on porches, neighbors bringing casseroles, church mothers praying over babies. Maybe you think of something warm, something nostalgic, something soft. And that's beautiful. But here's what I learned from my conversation with Dennisha Ware. And here's what I want to challenge you to consider today. The village is not just a sentimental idea, it is not just a phrase we throw around when we're feeling overwhelmed or when we need help. The village, when built intentionally, is a strategic, scalable model for Black community power, wealth building, and generational healing. Let me say that again because I need you to really hear this. The village is a strategic system. It is infrastructure. It is leadership development. It is economic resilience. And when we start to see it that way, everything changes. Everything. Now, I know some of you are sitting there thinking, LeAnne, I'm just trying to make it through the week. I'm just trying to keep my kids fed and my bills paid, my sanity intact. How am I supposed to build a village? And I hear you. I see you. I have been you. But here's the thing, you don't have to wait until you have it all figured out. You don't have to wait until you have the funding, the connections, the perfect plan. Denisha founded her first organization at 20. She moved states with three children and still built another organization. She didn't wait for permission. She didn't wait for perfection. She started with what she had, her story, her community, and one clear problem she felt called to solve. And that's the first thing I want you to take away from today. Your lived experience is not a liability, it is the blueprint for your village. Whether it's teen motherhood, career pivots, relocations, divorce, grief, burnout, whatever it is that tried to break you, those are the very things that can become the architecture of the community you are called to build. Your story holds data. It holds wisdom. It holds strategy. And it can be translated into programs, organizations, and enterprises that serve others. Let me give you an example. Kimberly Bryant is a Black woman electrical engineer who founded Black Girls Code in 2011. She started this organization because she saw her own daughter as one of the only Black girls in a summer tech camp. That experience of isolation, both as a Black woman engineer and as a mother, prompted her to create a community where Black girls would be the norm, not the exception. She transformed her lived experience of exclusion into the blueprint for a global village that nurtures future Black technologists. By 2018, Black Girls Code had reached over 14,000 students through its programs. 14,000. The organization has established multiple chapters across the United States and in South Africa, modeling how a village can be replicated across geographies. It has helped normalize the image of Black girls as coders, creators, and innovators, challenging both industry and community expectations. That's what happens when you stop seeing your story as something to hide and start seeing it as something to build with. Kimberly didn't wait for someone else to create the space her daughter needed. She built it herself. And in doing so, she built a village that is changing the trajectory of thousands of Black girls. Now, here's the second thing I want you to understand: a village is not just a support group, it is a strategic system with clear roles, partnerships, and structures. That means you can map out who you need around you: mentors, collaborators, funders, policy allies, aunties, elders. And you can build a model that is replicable, sustainable, and scalable across neighborhoods, cities, and even states. Let me tell you about Rachel Cargill. She's a writer and activist who founded the Loveland Foundation to provide financial assistance for therapy to Black women and girls. The foundation functions as a healing village, connecting Black women to mental health professionals and making therapy more accessible and culturally competent. Rachel's work in racial justice and her own experiences with mental health and emotional labor led her to recognize the unmet needs of Black women seeking healing. She leveraged her platform, community support, and crowdfunding to build what is essentially a mental health village where Black women are not alone in their healing journey. Since its inception, the Loveland Foundation has funded thousands of therapy sessions for Black women and girls. Thousands. It has strengthened the ecosystem of Black women therapists and culturally competent providers. And it has increased visibility for the mental health needs of Black women and the importance of community centered solutions. Rachel didn't just talk about the need for healing, she built the infrastructure to make it happen. She created partnerships, she mobilized resources, she designed a system that could grow and serve more people over time. That's what a village looks like when it's built with intention. And then there's the Black Mamas Matter Alliance, a Black women led organization that advances Black maternal health rights and justice. It operates as a national village of Black women experts, advocates, and organizations working to improve outcomes for Black mothers through policy, research, and culture change. The Alliance was founded by Black women leaders who had been working in maternal health, human rights, and reproductive justice and saw the need to unify their efforts. Their collective lived experiences, both personal and professional, shaped the organization's focus on centering Black women's voices and autonomy in maternal health policy and practice. The Alliance has increased public and policy awareness of the Black maternal health crisis. It has integrated Black maternal health into public health policy discussions at local, state, and federal levels. And it has strengthened networks among Black led organizations, resulting in more coordinated advocacy and programming. The Black Mamas Matter Alliance is a village. It's an interconnected network of Black women using their expertise and experience to protect and uplift Black mothers. And it's a model of how Black women led, experience driven alliances can become powerful villages that shift systems, not just individual stories. Now, I want to pause here and talk about something that I know is real for so many of you listening. You might be thinking, LeAnne, this all sounds great, but I'm tired. I've been carrying everyone else for so long. I don't have the energy to build a village. And I want to honor that. I want to honor the exhaustion. I want to honor the years you've spent in survival mode, leading teams, raising families, holding down households, caring communities. I want to honor the fact that you're ready to shift from constantly grinding to finally grounding in joy, peace, softness, and self prioritization. And here's what I want you to hear: building villages around ourselves, emotionally, spiritually, and practically, is not a luxury. It is a business strategy and a leadership necessity. When we are supported, we are more creative, more resilient, and more effective in both corporate and entrepreneurial spaces. Building a village is not about adding more to your plate. It's about creating the infrastructure that allows you to rest, to heal, to be soft while still making an impact. Dennisha Ware's work with Denisha's Village and Heritage of the Village illustrates this beautifully. She didn't choose between personal healing and professional success. She built villages that allowed her to do both. And that's what I want for you. I want you to see that you can be soft and still be powerful. You can rest and still be productive. You can prioritize your peace and still build something that changes the world. So here's the third thing I want you to take away: you don't have to wait for permission or perfection to start building. Denisha founded her first community organization at 20. She moved states with 3 children and still built another organization. You may not have all the answers, funding, or connections at first, but you can start with what you have: your story, your community, and one clear problem you feel called to solve. The village grows as you move. Think about Kimberly Bryant. She didn't have a massive budget or a team of developers when she started Black Girls Code. She had a vision, a community, and a willingness to start. Think about Rachel Cargill. She didn't wait for a foundation to give her permission to create the Loveland Foundation. She used her platform and her community to build it from the ground up. Think about the Black Mamas Matter Alliance. Those Black women leaders didn't wait for someone else to unify their efforts. They came together and built the village themselves. And that's what I'm inviting you to do today. I'm inviting you to stop waiting. Stop waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect resources. Start with what you have. Start with your story. Start with the one problem you feel called to solve. And trust that the village will grow as you move. Because here's the truth: your story is not just your story, it's a blueprint, it's a map, it's a model. And when you build a village from it, you're not just changing your life, you're changing the lives of everyone who comes after you. You're creating infrastructure, you're creating legacy, you're creating freedom. So here's my challenge to you. This week, identify one specific community or group your story uniquely equips you to serve. Maybe it's teen parents, single professionals, Black women in STEM, Black moms in corporate spaces. Write down one concrete village action you can take in the next 30 days. Host a small gathering, launch a support circle, mentor one person, reach out to a local organization for partnership, or draft the outline of a program or initiative. And then share that commitment with at least one trusted friend or colleague so you have both community and accountability as you build. If your life story is already a blueprint, what kind of village are you willing to build from it? And who will be safer, stronger, or more successful because you decided to start? Because the world doesn't need you to wait until you're ready. The world needs you to start where you are. The world needs your village. And sis, the world needs it now. So go ahead, start building. Your village is waiting. Your